Hi, my name is Noah. This is Dr. Munsell, and this is the first episode of the Low Cost Pet Vax podcast. Dr. Munsell, how are you feeling?
A little out of my element. Never done a podcast before, but I remember things, so I'm going to give it a shot.
Well, we're ready to go. This is our first real podcast, so
Yeah.
it'll be a little rough, but we'll make it through.
We got a story,
Yeah,
our story.
absolutely. That's what we're going to talk about today is how we got started. So, refresh my memory. You know the story better than I do.
Well, there's a little bit to our story, so I'm going to try to zip through the first part really fast. The first part started with, I was born, no, I'm kidding.
In the beginning.
Prior to graduation from vet school, grew up in South Texas, rednecks, out of the city, lots of dogs, lots of cats, horses, cattle. The cattle and horses were somebody else's, but we were there. If you don't mind my glasses, I can't read. 1989, graduated from vet school. It seems like it's not that far
Yeah, just the other day.
back, but the year since keeps getting bigger. Like it's almost like over 15 years since.
At least.
10
10 years at least.
Anyway, graduated back in the day, started practice in mixed animal practices. That's large animal, cows, horses, dogs, cats, not a lot of birds, snakes. Started in kind of northeast, North Texas, northwest, Decatur area for anybody who knows. Did a lot of dairy cattle, a lot of black and white cows. Got really tired of black and white cows. There's just a ton of them. So ended up going to Stephenville, a dairy practice, a dairy sale barn, testing for a lot of zoonotic diseases. That's diseases that can jump from cows to people, like brucellosis, tuberculosis. And I got tired of that pretty quick too.
Is that the Erath County?
It
sale
was.
barn?
It was. Kind of an interesting, well, I thought it was an interesting story, is the whole sale barn was under indictment when I got there. That's how I got the job.
That's a great working environment to go into.
And everybody had their eye on me. I won't go too far into that, but anyway, I was real careful to try to make sure I did everything right, but I decided probably best to try to start my own practice, and so moved to Houston. I know not everybody would try that, but worked for a corporation for a while, then started a practice in Plano, built that one up, sold it, moved to California for a while.
I've heard.
That's a longer story we don't have time for, but ended up doing large dairy practices, black and white cows, milk in Texas, were about 1,000 cows. In California, a large dairy practice is about 20,000 cows, 30,000. So that was interesting.
So not everything is bigger in Texas.
At least not that. Everything but that. Everything but the size of dairies. But anyway, I figured out California is a great place to leave. So back to DFW we come. At this point, I don't know if anybody knows, but this is Noah, my son. He wasn't around yet when we moved back. We had 2 children. My oldest daughter, youngest daughter, came back, started another practice. You know, you're seeing a pattern here, right? And northeast Tarrant County, and it's still there. The hospital we built is the best looking practice in Tarrant County, Fort Worth. Just saying. Sold that to an associate. Did other stuff, relief. got started doing vaccination clinic practices for somebody else. And I thought, hey, these are a great service for people. And anyway, got introduced to that. Needed more of a schedule, got started working for animal shelters, a Denton County animal shelter, and at the same time doing vaccination clinics. I was working for somebody else, and I told them, as long as you keep me busy every weekend, or Saturday, Sunday, for a certain amount and agreed upon. Well, they didn't keep me busy. So that broke the deal, and we can do this too, and we can do it better. So we started Low Cost Pet Vaccinations.
And when was this?
This was, well, you were around for this. You were part of the original bunch. I think it was 2016.
I think it was, 2016. Was it beginning, end of the year? I don't remember exactly when.
Probably the way we usually do. We usually wait till after the busy season, then start something. So it's slower.
And colder.
And colder, yeah, and rainier. So 2016, it started out slow. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the first person, obviously, that comes up with this idea. So there was competition. Mm-hmm. People didn't know about us. They didn't know we were better and friendlier and more affordable than anybody else. So it took a little time. But we started out as pretty much, apart from nonprofit, which means taxpayer supported, we were pretty much the most affordable, the most respectful vaccination clinic company in the DFW area. But we were very slow. And I was thinking, we need a special thing, a unique selling proposition. Why us and not somebody else? And you heard me mention that I grew up in South Texas, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Anyway, just saying, I didn't blend in a lot of times in class photos, but I grew up in a Hispanic community. I was never smart enough to learn how to speak Spanish, but I noticed that none of the vaccination clinics, as a rule, had Spanish-speaking staff. So a lot of times, Spanish-speaking clients had to talk to staff, through a child or something, which is that's not respect, right? So I decided we are going to focus on making sure that we can communicate with and provide service, respectful service for Spanish-speaking clients, Hispanic clients. Because again, I'm from South Texas. I mean, I couldn't speak Spanish, but pretty much we decided at that point, all of our staff that we hire speak Spanish.
And that was pretty early on, right? That was shortly after we started, or around that time?
Pretty much right away, because I had a lot of time to think about this because we were so slow to start with. Mm-hmm. We just sit there and talk about where we'd have lunch and have maybe 4 or 5 clients all day. But that has changed a lot. So, like I said, there was plenty of competition to start off with in DFW. Probably slowed us down a little bit, not too much. Mm-hmm. But since we are more affordable, more respectful, and probably more convenient in some ways, but certainly all my staff speak Spanish. we are the obvious place for we have a special service for the Hispanic. We take great care of everybody. We service every demographic, even people who have no problem paying for whatever. We're just so much more convenient than a client going to a regular veterinary clinic and taking up that time and, having, specific, policies and protocols that they have to follow and just, to be, just cards on the table. Clinics can be kind of pushy about their rules and their policies, what they would have, and we decided early on that's not something we're going to do. Mm-hmm. We are going to try to provide information for our clients, good information, and then they tell us what they want to do. We're not going to cross that boundary where we tell them what they should do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We inform them what they can do, what's available, but then we shut up and let them tell us, okay, here's what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing I've noticed is that, a lot of clinics, there's almost a little bit of a condescension if you're not.
Good word.
If you're not.
That's the word I was looking for.
If you're not doing, everything that is, recommended in terms of preventative care, like, if you're not on if you're not on heartworm preventative and flea preventative all year round, if you're not up to date on all the vaccines, your flu vaccine, Lyme, all that stuff.
If you haven't done blood work in a year.
Yeah, and the reality is like a lot of people just can't afford that, and that doesn't mean that they should just not be allowed to have pets. So when somebody comes and all they can do at that time is a rabies vaccine, like that's, we don't judge, we tell them, hey, we're here every month, if you can get the other vaccines, maybe get some on heartworm prevention, we're here, that's what's recommended, but, to whatever you can do. I mean, we try to have the most affordable prices we can so that, anybody can, it's as attainable as possible, but there's no judging or condescension if it's not in the budget at the time.
Yeah, and it comes down to just the word respect. You treat people with respect. It's not that difficult. Pretty much everybody knows that's how they'd like to be treated. And, sometimes we've had one thing that we market, that we just put out there. If all you want to get is a rabies vaccination, it's $10. Mm-hmm. It's been $10 from the time we started. I think for a little bit we jumped up and we said, no, back to $10. Mm-hmm. If that's all you want. And a lot of our clients have started with that. And then we treat them excellent. And it's so convenient because our staff is so good with pets and being efficient that they are typically in and out probably less than an average of 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you went to a veterinary clinic and were in and out in 15 minutes? That's especially on a Saturday or Sunday, which is more convenient to more people. And just inform people of what we would recommend, what they can do, and giving them an explanation why, not just because we said so. And then they tell us, we get it done. They see everything goes smooth. A lot of times clients will come back, and now we have established trust. And if you establish trust with somebody's a little bit more likely to listen. The first time, people don't know you. And you live up to the promises that you made that you're going to be affordable, convenient, and friendly. Friendly is another word for respect. Anyway, things started growing. Pretty soon, I'm taking out a team, you're taking out a team. Dr. Karen, my wife, she's taking out a team. We're up to 3 teams. And
all out of the house.
Yeah, at this time, we're kind of card carrying rednecks. Just saying, So we were out northwest of Decatur as we would come into town. But we drive these vehicles in, but pretty soon we start getting the question, right? When you treat people with respect, you build trust, you build a bit of a relationship, and a lot of our clients aren't as comfortable going to a regular veterinary clinic, or maybe they just don't want to.
Or then maybe they don't have a really like affordable option in their area.
Exactly. But we start getting the question, okay, where y'all at? Where's your clinic? And we didn't have a clinic. And weren't really planning on starting a clinic. But after we get that question enough times and we end up having to tell people, maybe you should call your local SPCA, kind of. That's just not being responsible, so we decide, okay, start looking around for a clinic. And so we looked at Irving, and Irving's kind of central. What are kind of some of your memories of getting that started? I mean, you were right there, one of the driving forces for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember the first clinic that my original memories of the first clinic that you built back in North Indian Hills. And so, it's kind of weird because I've kind of been through the process of, or like been involved. I mean, I was, probably, I don't know, what, like 6, 7. I remember sipping on a nail.
You were shorter.
I was in construction.
I don't remember the nail.
I remember the nail. So, yeah, I remember that whole process. That was, really interesting. And then obviously with the building here, it was a lot different kind of being involved in the, actual setting up and building. And we went to a couple of practice closure sales to get some equipment.
You got some cheap equipment.
Yeah, we're about as grassroots as it gets. I mean, it was kind of it was all, a lot of, used in good condition equipment, all of us just pitching in to set up. It wasn't, super advanced, but it really came together pretty well, I think. I mean, the construction didn't seem like it took all that long, especially compared to the San Antonio clinic.
Yep.
I don't know.
If you're going to build something in San Antonio, bring your lunch. It's going to take 5 times as long as it does in DFW.
Yeah. So I do remember that. I mean, it was a really, really interesting couple of weeks just getting everything set up once we, the construction was finished. And then I remember the first customer that we had. We had a couple people who just kind of showed up and sort of, we left the door unlocked and we forgot there was a sign outside that said Low Cost Pet Vax. And some people came in, trying to see if they could get seen. So that was kind of funny. And then our first customer, somebody came in the last couple of days we were getting everything set up. And I think he had some sort of a gentleman with a dog that had a skin tag. And he was just wanting to see if he could get seen. And we were like, well, we have a doctor here. We have a clinic here. We got some staff. Why not? So
seems appropriate.
Yeah, very, very official way to get started. But that was a lot of fun. That was a long time ago, though. That was 2018, June, July sometime. We were still doing the 3 teams for the weekend clinics.
As they say, time just keeps moving on, and those years keep getting farther away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of gets back to, as you get old, you get these stupid old guy sayings, and one of my stupid sayings, mottos is ready, fire, aim.
Yes.
And most people around me have heard ready, fire, aim, because you get ready and then you just kind of do it, like this podcast. It's ready, fire, aim.
don't know what you're talking about.
Have Noah here, so, if things get kind of boring, he's got some things to make them less boring.
Like I said, we're not professional podcasters.
Yeah,
So.
but we do play them on TV. So, anyway, we grew really fast here at the clinic. Same values, same non-negotiables, affordable, friendly, convenient. But of course, we use the same name. And just, kind of sharing a little bit about our name. You think, why would you pick Low Cost Pet Vax? It was Low Cost Pet Vaccinations, shortened it to Low Cost Pet Vax because vaccinations is a little too long for it. And kind of the reason why, kind of the silly reason that, I say, especially since we are a specifically Hispanic friendly practice, I always say, kind of silly that El Cheapo Vet Clinic was already taken. That's not exactly why, but it sounds good. But low cost pet vaccinations online is the primary keyword. It's the phrase searched most often on Google, and so we figured that would help us to get an online presence as fast as we could. Not to go too far, but we do have a secret weapon when it comes to online. Most of our clients know they pull up affordable vaccination clinics or whatever. We're always the first ones on the result page, no matter what market we're in.
Yeah. For some reason, we rank in New York if you
We
search
rank in New
low-cost pet vaccines. I'm not sure why. We're not number one, but
Not number one, but I hear we're on the first page. Here we're on the first page in Los Angeles. I don't know if that's true, but anyway, we have a secret weapon when it comes to that. Okay, Noah, where are we? San Antonio. Why don't you kind of share a little bit how we ended up in San Antonio?
yeah, I want to say now this is the way I remember it, is that we were thinking we should start vaccine clinics in Houston because that's the next biggest market, maybe the biggest market in DFW. We have some family members in Houston. So, that kind of made a lot of sense. And then, so we were kind of gearing up, making some plans of, how to remotely, kind of commute, do vaccine clinics, come back, all that kind of stuff. And this is like the end of 2019, I want to say. Like, it was last quarter, I think.
I've slept since then, but I'm pretty sure.
I want to say
sounds
it was.
good.
And so we were kind of making plans to do that. And then in the last minute, we just decided San Antonio instead of Houston. And the reasons I recall were because we like San Antonio and we don't like Houston.
But now we like Houston.
I've come around to Houston a little bit. I got to admit, it's kind of like Austin. I never would have said I really enjoy Austin, but we're there now, and it's nice. So,
kind of Houston traffic is pretty tough, but we have our head guy in Houston, Mario Morales. He's an old cowboy. He's tough. Anyway, he's already got us up to 4 teams. Just saying, Houston. We like Houston. We still don't like Houston traffic.
Yeah, the traffic is pretty rough. The traffic's pretty rough, and it's a lot longer of a drive to get there.
But anyway, back to San Antonio.
Yeah, I think, we started off with just one team, our old manager was going down there, Paul, and we literally just, got some extra supplies and started going down there on Friday, having some vaccine clinics, staying in a hotel, and then coming back up. And we just kind of rotate who whose turn it was to go down there. But we just started doing that, and then we were doing that with 2 teams at one time, which was pretty crazy before we even had any building or office or supplies that stayed down there. So I don't know how we did it, but
It wasn't that hard to find staff that wanted to go and just take a road trip and stay in a hotel, and
no,
that seems like
that's actually one of the easier things to do. I think people, they enjoy it. I kind of always see the vaccine clinics, a lot of people who work, a lot of the staff at the vaccine clinics, like, it's fun. You're outside, you get to see a lot of people, you get to see a lot of cats and dogs and puppies. And especially if you have, your regular job is, you're staying at home with kids, or you have, an office job. It's kind of nice to get out on a weekend and have something that, is still work, but, you get to have a little bit more fun and you're outside.
and we do have a couple of fairly stay-at-home moms, but on the weekends, the husband's home.
Yeah.
And he gets to watch the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
And mom goes out to the vaccination clinics.
Absolutely.
Which, I just kind of wrote down, some of our notable staff, and I think you probably know a few that I wrote down, but I was just thinking, some of our staff that just really, have been just memorable. And first one that came to mind was Odette.
Yeah.
Odette.
Yeah.
She caught on, I think this was the first veterinary thing that she'd ever had, or not.
I believe so.
And she caught on. She's kind of a mom. She's pretty sassy. She's quite a character. But she was an institution. She taught a lot of our staff, and actually she went away for a while, and now she's back.
Mm-hmm.
So we love Odette. And Caleb, he's a hair growing machine, ain't he? Anyway, he's always been the best, the most friendly and respectful guy, and I think his favorite breed is a Chihuahua, and he just got his thumb just bitten good by another Chihuahua, and he couldn't say anything because that's his favorite breed. But he's been with us forever. I was thinking about Andres. Do you remember, how did Andres get started?
That I don't remember exactly. I think he applied at the clinic, and Paul saw that he was a veterinarian in Venezuela.
Yeah.
He really didn't speak a ton of English at the time, as I recall. Like, he was still really learning, and but I'm pretty sure he got started at the clinic right away, basically, and he picked up a lot of English, and he started working at the vaccine clinics, and he's still been around here or there. So,
no. You said you were talking about Andres, which a significant number of our technical staff were veterinarians in another country. I think we've had like 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, we've had a few. The other one who comes to mind, Armando. Armando he's a veterinarian now in Florida, but when he started working for us, his story that he told me is basically he was driving by the clinic and he saw that it says "Hablamos Español" on the clinic, and he just decided he wanted to work there, which is funny. He didn't even have he wasn't able to work when he first applied, but we're like, well, you have to get your the certification first, and then he did, and he came back like a year later, and he came back to work at the clinics, and he's great. He was originally a veterinarian from Cuba, and then he practiced in Mexico for some time, and just recently got licensed in the United States to be a veterinarian, which is awesome. He worked as a technician for us, but now he's Dr. Armando in Florida.
Yeah, as I remember, you manage all of our staff and veterinarians, you manage the whole thing now, but I do kind of remember something about Armando being just the most professional, disciplined guy you'd ever meet. So I'm sure he's doing fantastic. Isn't he an orthopedic surgeon?
He specializes in surgery. I believe he loves surgery. You kind of meet two types of veterinarians. You meet the veterinarians who love surgery and only want to do surgery, and the veterinarians who would be fine never doing surgery again. He's definitely definitely really enjoys surgery. So I don't know if he's doing orthopedic surgery or not. I haven't heard, but he's also talked that we have a couple of other staff who are. We have one of the staff member was a veterinarian in Mexico, and he's taking his NAVLE soon, and he's looking to, after he takes the NAVLE, once he passes, he will have to take another exam that's extremely difficult to get licensed. But we're hopeful for him. He's going through. He's doing a lot of studying for that. So, but Armando is a great resource for him. So, and every now and then I'll run into somebody who knows Armando. It's pretty weird. He gets around.
That's one thing, that's kind of a feel-good thing for us, is we've been kind of an on-ramp for a lot of veterinarians that are from other countries that are trying to get licensed and everything here. And we're kind of a place for them to get started and, just get started, usually as a technician, but start working on,
Yeah, well, it's a difficult process, so it's always nice for them to have somewhere where they can work and kind of be in the environment. They can also, practice your communication, language skills. That's a big hurdle for a lot of them. Is just kind of because you have to take all the tests are in English, and so you have to really practice it at a professional level. So, but yeah, we've had a couple through. It's pretty great.
This is kind of jumping ahead, but I was kind of thinking about, talking about people from other countries. Sergio in Austin, have you met him yet?
I have met him, yeah.
He wasn't a veterinarian, and he's from Venezuela?
He's from, but I believe he was a veterinarian. I'm not 100% sure about him. He's
I think you're right.
I believe he was, and then he was practiced in Spain as well, and then before he came to the United States.
I think one of the things that he would tell me is he was also special forces in Venezuela. I don't know if that's.
He didn't tell me that. So.
How to take that, but he looks like he's pretty in shape. But anyway, okay, back to. Is there any other staff that you wanted to? Juan Osorio. He's been with us for a long time, just a disciplined guy, just great mentor for a lot of our newer staff.
5 years, I think now.
Yeah, he's a great asset to any other staff that come to mind that maybe some of the people watching this might say, yeah, I remember that guy.
Well, I guess it depends on who's watching. I mean, you have to obviously mention Joseph. I mean,
Joseph?
You can't not mention
him. Yeah. I feel bad now. Joseph, if you're watching this, cut me a break. So you want to.
Yeah, well, the heart and soul of San Antonio for a while. He started in 2022. It was kind of 2020 as well. So it was kind of a. Obviously a weird time because we had to adjust to COVID and 2020s. We had a lot of we shut down, I think, for about a month. Had to bring in a whole bunch of protocols, so it was definitely a weird time, just like it was for everybody. But we were able to stay open with some solid protocols, and for a long time in San Antonio, once we had a building down there, and it became a sustaining branch. Right. Joseph was kind of main technician, lead tech down there, and him and his brother also, which is kind of funny. They were both kind of the supplies handlers, and they would both be on one of the teams. And we've been, two teams for a long time, and it was Joseph and his brother kind of handling those teams for a long time, doing inventory counting, all that stuff. So, and of course, he worked at our San Antonio practice when it started, and he was also kind of the heart and soul and everything of that practice, everything except the doctor, except now. And then he left to go to vet school in Arizona, just graduated, and now he's working at the Irving Clinic. So, which is also another cool story. We've had a couple of technicians come through and get into vet school. So,
and Joseph, being from Puerto Rico, he is a communicator. He's maybe better than Bad Bunny. I don't know who Bad Bunny is, but I've heard he's from Puerto Rico. But matter of fact, I don't text a lot while we're doing this, but I was trying to text Joseph to pop in here and just say hi, just so y'all can meet him. But that's one of the best feel good, somebody who's been just core staff forever. He was a big part of building up San Antonio, always there, reliable. Him and his brother, John, one of his favorite stories is that John runs a lot. Actually, Joseph does too, and their dad does. He was a collegiate runner or something, but John says one morning he's going out to do a marathon, and okay. And when he comes back in, Joseph asks him, "So John, how'd you do?" He said, "I won." So they have some serious athletic ability.
Yeah, so you've seen him in the Olympics. You're here first.
I don't know if John's that motivated, but John's no longer with us because he got in an argument with a cat, and John said, "That's enough. I'm out. We're done." But anyway, so I guess Joseph's not going to pop in here, but certainly Joseph. So anyway, so San Antonio. Again, we start getting the question, where is your clinic? Where are y'all at? And
I was pretty certain we all agreed that we were not going to open up another practice.
We did. Just we're not going to do it. And I think we did the pinky handshake on it, and well, I don't know about that, but we agreed.
Yeah, we're all in agreement.
But after you get the question, again, a lot of our clients, they're not as comfortable going into a traditional veterinary clinic, and we establish respect, trust, and people, where are y'all at? And at our Irving Clinic, which is kind of central Dallas-Fort Worth, if you're not in Dallas-Fort Worth, we have clients from all over Dallas-Fort Worth that come to our clinic. As a matter of fact, I hear because our prices are low, again, you have to have low prices if your name is called Low Cost. But we probably treat more heartworm positive cases in this clinic than maybe any place in the state.
Yeah, I think, I can't say what ranking we are, but I know we order more of the heartworm treatment medication than basically, I think, I'm not going to say how, but we order more than, probably 95% of practices in the state. And mostly I think it's because we see so many dogs that don't necessarily, have a regular practice that they're going to. They're not maybe on a heartworm medication in a lot of these areas where we do vaccine clinics. But we're able to get them, tested for heartworms because, we're out there, we're convenient, they're getting a rabies shot. We've built up that trust, so they're, we're testing these dogs, and a lot of them are positive. It's just because, again, they're probably not on the heartworm prevention, a lot of them. And you can almost see, I swear, sometimes I can almost see a heartworm positive dog coming up because, they look like they're mostly an outside dog, maybe you know, a farm dog or a ranch dog or something like that, and it's like, well, we'll see if they get tested, and you know, it does happen. It's pretty frequent that we'll get heartworm positive dogs, and they get referred to the clinic for treatment. So we're pretty frequently treating dogs for heartworms from all over the Metroplex in our Irving clinic, and you know, we see clients from all around. You know, obviously the Irving community, but you know, also from other communities where we do our vaccine clinics, like Arlington, South Dallas, Oak Cliff area, West Fort Worth. A lot of them will come to our clinic, you know, for the prices because the relationship is there. I think the probably record holder is we had one client come from New York, and they flew here directly
For surgery.
for surgery, for a surgery consult. We didn't, they didn't realize they were in New York City when they called to make the appointment, but they flew here directly from New York City, no hotel, no family or anything, no plan. They were in the lobby a couple hours early for their appointment with their luggage and suitcase and everything, and that was an interesting one. But they got a diagnosis, they got referred for surgery. So I think that's probably the record holder. But you know, we see a lot of dogs from all over the Metroplex that are, you know, maybe it's a heartworm treatment case, is a lot of them. I think that's why we do a lot of heartworm treatment, because also we do make it a lot more affordable than a lot of other places.
Absolutely.
It is a costly procedure, it's a costly treatment to do, and we try to make it as affordable as possible. So, you know, some dogs that we don't necessarily have, you know, or maybe we didn't diagnose the heartworms and they come here for consultation and treatment. So,
Hey, here's Joseph. Joseph, could you come over here and just say hi, have a seat? Joseph, we were talking about Joseph from San Antonio, from Puerto Rico, now Dr. Camacho. Dr. Camacho.
he doesn't know anything about this.
Yeah.
He was not made aware.
He doesn't even know he's on a podcast right now, but.
You're on a podcast,
Well, now he does.
No.
Now you are.
Cool.
So what's some of your favorite stories from San Antonio? Or he went to University of Arizona Vet School. He got in a program where you get in, you get out, you got your license, you're back, you're a
Doctor.
Dr. Camacho. He started back with us. We missed it. He's been away for, well, off and on, but 3 years. But what's some of your favorite stories from San Antonio? I remember.
How much can I say?
You can. You got 5 minutes.
Okay, probably.
We had a big build up for Dr. Camacho here, so
Yeah. We
everybody
didn't
was
go into detail on the start of the San Antonio clinic, so.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, whatever.
Can it be called a clinic?
Yeah, it was not really.
It wasn't though. It was just.
A couple of walls and a door.
It was literally just a couple of walls. Like, I think it was just more the circumstances that we were in. So like how small the clinic was, and it was just walls thrown up.
Yeah.
And that's it. We did that.
Yeah.
I think that my favorite story is probably, or
Okay, you have to tell everybody, what was it before we got there?
it was a cash loan, right? Like a cash loan bank thing
Yeah,
or something like that.
Speedy. It was
Speedy cash. It was Speedy Cash specifically.
It had
If
bulletproof
they're still in
everything.
business, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
there was a door that was one of the doors for one of the exam rooms where
Just one of the regular exam room doors.
it was a heavy iron metal door.
It was bulletproof.
Yeah.
And yes,
It was tank-proof, maybe.
And we would have to like lock, because it would open up, and so we would have to like lock clients in to like close it to keep the door closed, and then open it up. But you could hear like tring, tring,
Yeah.
to open up the door. That it was a Speedy Cash, and then the whole wall was just bulletproof. It was all like iron.
Yeah.
It was all iron. That was something.
Yeah.
Even the ceiling in there was.
Yes, I didn't realize how much went into a Speedy Cash, of how they had cash.
Yeah. I didn't
I didn't
think of it.
I didn't realize that.
You would never think
It
of
was secure. I was We should have kept that door probably.
And then we had this huge safe that you had to get a forklift to move.
How did you guys get that out there?
I gave it to somebody and they took it somehow. No question.
I have not yet to see the glory of San Antonio Clinic in its pristine,
It's come
finished
It's one of
product.
the nicest clinics you'll ever go into.
Can't relate.
It's much nicer than a Speedy Cash, I'll tell you that.
It's a much nicer than the Speedy Cash. I
It's-
believe
It's
you.
better than the Speedy Cash.
The floors are all like marble or.
Oh, yeah.
Or
It looks like a show place.
okay.
You know, you kind of.
As soon as they left, that's when it got better.
Well, you know, now you're a doctor though. So it's worth it.
Yeah.
I am a doctor.
You'll get to see it.
Yeah.
eventually.
But anyway, we had such a build up for Joseph. Now, Dr. Camacho he was responsible for most of our San Antonio business. Was just being there week in, week out, or weekend, weekend out. But anyway, anything else you would like to tell about? I just kind of revisited or mentioned John. He was with us, and then he got in an argument with the cat. So he said, "That's it.
That was it?
No more.
That was it?
I'm not doing this."
He got in a fight with the cat, and the cat won. So
Cat did win.
Yeah.
yeah.
I told him about the marathon.
Oh, yeah.
He just says, "I'm going to go do one," and he comes back in.
As a winner, yeah. I would die if I did a marathon. Actually, well, maybe not, but like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was scrapes and bruises. No, I don't know. I'm really excited to be here and practice. Just
Yeah. Well, this is a second day. You know, as a
you
as
had
a
to throw that
practicing
out.
doctor.
I just did a promo thing, and I was gonna say it's my first day, but I was like, no,
It's not first day. Yeah.
second day.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're already experienced.
Well, Dr. Camacho, thank you for popping in.
Thank you, thank
you. I'm sorry for texting on a deal, but I just had to ask Dr. Camacho if he had time. So
I have time.
it's wonderful having you.
Thank you.
And
likewise.
Also, just for, we are also planning to have a in Spanish podcast, and Dr. Camacho doesn't know this yet, or maybe he does, but he's going to be the facilitator guy for that, and it's going to be great.
News to both of us.
And
Surprise! Exactly. What happened with the surprises, sir?
Surprise.
Actually, a surprise for you.
what's that?
Coming to you this weekend is a hauler and a veterinarian.
I'm sorry?
A hauler and a veterinarian this weekend.
Oh,
Coming to you.
gotcha. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
The need was there, and I was like 2 for 1.
the opportunity was there. We wanted to make it happen.
Old times,
So
baby.
Old times.
Old times, good
Let's see if
times.
I don't crash a trailer.
I'm sure I have 100% confidence.
No.
I didn't believe you when you said that.
Okay. Well,
Well, we've had a few vehicle incidents we're not going to go into now, but Joseph was never part of any of them.
That is true. That is true. I'm proud to say
I'm
that.
not talking about saying anything about Noah and myself, but Joseph was never. He's a very careful driver. I've been in there. So, oh yeah, just for coming attractions, there is a significantly effective alternate way of treating heartworms in dogs that it's not that new of a study. It's 2020 out of Brazil, I think. But it is an option we treat so many heartworm cases here, and Dr. Camacho is going to he saw how many we did in San Antonio because he was kind of the guy there. But we treat even more here, like I said, probably more than anybody in the state, because we're about a half to a third of the price, and it's a pretty similar treatment no matter where you go. But there's another alternative that we can do out in the field that we'll be talking about later. And that's enough of that. Noah, how do we wrap this up?
well, I mean, we're not professional podcasters, so we can wrap it up however we want.
That's true. We are not.
That's all.
That's all, folks.
That's all for now. Well, thank you for anybody who watched.
The inaugural
The 3 people.
Low Cost Pet Vax
Sarah.
podcast.
Yeah.
like, what are some of the things that people can look forward to seeing? We'll be going through current events,
Tell us.
certain services that we're offering, certainly staff that, have interesting stories.
Yeah, I mean, you can follow us on our Instagram, Low Cost Pet Vax. We have a Facebook page as well. We're always posting. We'll be posting stuff from the podcast to there. We'll be posting new information, specials, promotions, events that we're doing. It'll all be on there. So give us a follow. I don't. Do you have anything else you wanted to?
Other than I'm sure that you'll try to be getting some Dallas Cowboy football players on from time to
That
time.
would be a huge flex.
I don't know if you could pull it off. but
Honestly,
I know you'll be trying.
if you pull that off, dude,
Look, hey,
you got the
We got
mascot.
Rowdy. We got
you got
Rowdy.
the mascot. That's
I think that counts.
That's close. No, it doesn't. But it's close enough.
it's pretty close. That's pretty good. We got Rowdy. Check the Instagram for Rowdy. He made a guest appearance.
Actually, that's an incentive. Have people like and share to get a.
Yeah, Rowdy will show up to your house if you like the post. Okay.
Maybe.
He won't.
Maybe.
This is not sponsored. by
He
them.
might. You don't know. So, Joseph, could you sign us out? Wave by something.
Like what?
Sign us out. Wave by. Say bye.
Adios.
Okay.
Hasta
yeah.
luego.
That's all.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.